Everybody, welcome back to another video with Shifty's 49ers Talk. In today's video, we're going to discuss the crazy amount of injuries that the 49ers have had so far. We're going to talk about the implications for the team, what the team has been doing so far, what they should do, what they could do. There's a lot to talk about here. So we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to jump right in right after we finish the intro. The 49ers have been hit really hard with injuries so far in this training camp and preseason, which is really not ideal because a lot of the injuries are to players who are younger and they really need the reps in practice and the snaps in preseason. Talking about some of the players who are injured, you have Aiyuk and Malik Mustafa injuries from last season. They're projected to be back. Shanahan said the earliest week 6, the latest week 10. So I'm thinking maybe somewhere around week 8. If not week 8, I'm going to think week 10 because I don't know if you want to bring those guys back week 9 at the New York Giants because I hate that stadium. However, let's talk about some of the other players who throughout the course of training camp, the offseason, and preseason have been picking up injuries. The wide receiver room fairly decimated at this point. So Aiyuk, out till middle of the season. Jauan Jennings has a calf injury. Now, I think if he were given a new contract, that calf injury might suddenly disappear. But at the moment, taking it at face value, calf injury for Jennings. Jordan Watkins has been really good in camp, had a solid preseason week 1. He has a high ankle sprain from that game, so he's out for a month, hopefully back for week 1. Jacob Cowing is just working his way back from injury. And then if you look at the wide receiver room, Demarcus Robinson likely to miss the first 3 games with a suspension. He is appealing that, but I think he probably misses the first 3 games. That's probably the best assumption. Then you move to the running back room. Isaac Guerendo, Jordan James, they're out, but they should be back soon. Amir Abdullah, who we signed as a free agent, he is done for the year with a rib injury. Then you move to the defensive end room. Yetur Gross-Matos and Michael Williams both out, but they should be back pretty soon. Move to the cornerbacks. Deommodore Lenoir, Renardo Green, our 2 starting cornerbacks. They haven't practiced in a couple of weeks. I think Lenoir, it's been about a week or so. Renardo Green, about 2 weeks. Renardo Green's only in his 2nd year. He had a really good rookie year, but Renardo Green needs the reps. He needs the snaps in preseason, and he's not getting them. Although he should be back soon, ideally plays some snaps preseason week 3, and of course gets those reps in practice. Finally, the safety room, we talked about Malik Mustafa being out. Jair Brown, he is someone who's just coming back from an injury. And so look, there's a lot of positions that we could definitely use some help. So far, the 49ers thought process has been, let's kind of cover things up right now with Band-Aids. So if you look at some of the wide receivers that we've been signing, you look at Robbie Chosen, Equanimeous St. Brown, Malik Turner, these are guys who you're really hoping that you don't have to play many snaps in the upcoming season. With the running back room, you bring back Jeff Wilson Jr., which I actually really like that signing. Then you look at, the safety room, do you bring in guys? The cornerback room, you bring in Eli Apple, Fabian Moreau, but guys, again, that you probably don't want to have to play too many snaps. So what should the 49ers do? Are they doing the right thing? And I believe that ultimately, yes. I think that the way the 49ers are playing things now is the correct way. Let's look at the 49ers cap situation. So we have $46.8 million in cap, which is the 3rd most in the NFL currently. So with that in mind, you could think, well, wide receiver room right now, not looking too hot. Maybe we go out and sign Amari Cooper. Do we sign Gabe Davis? Cornerback room, we're missing our 2 starting cornerbacks right now. Do you go and sign a Stephon Gilmore or Rasul Douglas? Safety room, not looking the best either. Do you go and sign a Justin Simmons? And these are a lot of the names that I've kind of seen thrown out on X and online. And is that a move that the 49ers should make? And how things stand right now, I'm going to lean towards no. I think with the 49ers, because it is a really tricky situation, because although there's just a massive list of players who were injured, all of these guys are expected back in the next coming days or week or month, or, Aiyuk Mustafa middle of the season. So if you're to go for, let's just say, if we want to sign an Amari Cooper, $15 million is probably going to be the asking price. And do you sign him for $15 million? That's going to chew up, obviously, a good portion of the cap space. And although we have plenty of cap right now, let's not forget that the cap space that you have gets rolled over to next year. And that is something that the 49ers would have factored in when it came to all the extensions for Purdy and Kittle and Warner, plus just to be able to make moves next offseason that, that's a kind of a saving it for a rainy day situation. So I think currently signing an Amari Cooper right now for $15 million, I personally wouldn't do it. But again, that's how things stand right now. Ideally, there's no more injuries. That would be a perfect scenario for the rest of the season. Not realistic. Should anything significant happen to a wide receiver, let's say like a Juwan or anyone, I don't want to even say names, but should it happen, we hope not, then I think, you make a move for a Gabe Davis or an Amari Cooper. Should any significant injuries occur, then I think you look to bring in the higher priced free agent. I think it is a little bit frustrating because we see players go down and we see, relatively big names, older players, but relatively big names on the free agent market. And it's like, well, why not do that? Why not get one of those guys? They immediately make us better. But we're talking about it from, one aspect is the cap, which we kind of delved into, that you want to save as much of that cap and roll it over to next year. But I think the other thing, and arguably the more important thing, is, this 49ers team, we have a lot of younger players, and a lot of the players who are currently injured are in their, their rookies or their second year, third year. And these are the guys that do you necessarily want to take away snaps from them? Do you want to take away reps in practice from these guys? And currently, I don't think so. I don't think that would be the smart move to make. If you're talking about, let's say, a Jordan Watkins and Jacob Cowing, I think both of these guys have potential to be, depth pieces at the wide receiver position, maybe wide receivers 3 and 4. If you bring in Amari Cooper, he's going to expect to be given wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 targets, reps in practice, production. He's not going to come in here and then when Aiyuk is back and Jennings is there and Pearsall, and Amari Cooper is not going to be here being, I'm wide receiver 4. No, thank you. He's not going to sign up for that. So then you kind of get a potentially disgruntled locker room. You get guys who are like Watkins and Cowing who are now just getting nothing in their, rookie year or second year. So I think making a move like that is not so wise, because you have to look beyond this season. When I think of that's what the 49ers, and that's what every team kind of has to do. I think as fans, it's so easy, or it's so enticing to be like, let's go all in this season, because you want the satisfaction of winning right here, right now. And while that can work in situations, if you think like the Rams back in 2021, was it, or 2021, that can work, but I don't think it's a recipe. It's not a recipe for kind of continued success. I think the Niners are playing it the right way, where you have a blend on the roster of, players, veterans who've been around for a while who are excellent. Kittle, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Deommodore Lenoir, Trent Williams, of course, Kyle Juszczyk, Christian McCaffrey, mixed in with a lot of younger, exciting players. Deommodore Lenoir, Michael Williams, really, curious to see what he does. Ricky Pearsall, there's a lot of young talent here. Renardo Green, Dominic Pooney, that I think you can't get too, heavy with the big contracts. I think that the Niners are playing it right, so far. I really do want to hear your guys' thoughts, though, in the comments on what you would be doing if you were, let's say right now, if you were put into John Lynch's shoes with the 49ers, what would you be doing? Would you be calling some of the bigger free agents saying, hey, come on in, we need you right now? Or are you going to play it like how it's been going so far, where you're really wanting these younger players currently out temporarily to wait for them to sign some kind of veteran camp bodies, wait for the younger guys to come back, and then let them take their lumps And some of these guys, like we saw it last year with players, like some of the guys will make a big impact in their rookie years, and we're seeing it so far in preseason. I think the Niners are doing it correctly. Let me know your thoughts, though, in the comments below, whether you agree with the approach so far from John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh. And I do. And unless something changes drastically, I think that the Niners are doing the right thing. I'm happy to criticize the 49ers when they make moves that I think are incorrect. But right now, happy with how the 49ers are playing it. And really, really excited, of course, to see all of our Pro Bowl, all pro type guys. We're really excited to see the development of some of these younger players. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Again, drop some comments below. I respond to all comments. I'm going to head on out of here, but before I do, I'm going to say two things. The butt counts, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.